Alrighty. Oh, wow. Look at that. The thing is not right. Hold on. Wait a minute. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this because we're that guy. We're gonna do it on the spot because we're that guy. Actually, I think it's. Oh yeah, it's already. Okay. Well, there you go. That's gonna be the best it's gonna be. Yeah, stay mad if you're mad. All right. Anyway, welcome to Play Your Way podcast. I'm your host Johnny Murray here today, and it is just me today. We're doing an official solo podcast tonight. This is your video game podcast covering gaming news, reviews, and more. We're gonna redo that intro because I realized I wasn't recording. We're streaming, but this is actually going on Spotify and all that stuff. We're actually gonna be doing that again. So let me go and redo that. Welcome to the Play Your Way podcast. I'm yours, Johnny Murray here. This is the podcast covering gaming news, reviews, and more. And today, I'm solo. We're doing a solo podcast. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things. When I say a bunch of things, we're going to be talking about a lot. And I mean pretty much everything that has happened since either A, the last podcast, or things that we didn't cover in the last podcast, or just B, things going on in life. So, yeah, it's going to be just me. Talking to me, but really I'm talking to y'all. And yeah, we're just going to be talking about a bunch of good gaming stuff as well as some not gaming stuff. Maybe we'll see. That's more or less going to be like housekeeping and stuff. But yeah, welcome to Play Your Way podcast. I know it's been a little while, but we are back. We are here. I am back. I'm here. And I'm excited to do this because I've kind of haven't been making videos for like a week. And so I've just been doing other stuff, so I'm happy to be back. Hopefully gonna start playing games again soon. Spoiler alert, I really haven't been. So we're gonna see about that. But yeah, welcome to Play Your Way. So we have a couple like big ones, big topics that I want to cover this episode, being like just kind of go over some of the Xbox Developer Direct games, as well as go over some of the bigger news that is, or rumors that have been circulating. And then look forward to like what are the games releasing this month that I'm excited for. Like give you my final expectations on that because spoiler, I've been really excited for one of them. Like recently, like just randomly, I don't know. I've just gotten this urge to like play this game. So I'm really excited for it. That game being Avowed, but we're gonna talk about that later. But yeah, first we're gonna start with housekeeping. But first, actually, if you're watching on YouTube, thank also for tuning in. Look, if you love gaming, consider subscribing, sharing. We cover video games daily on this channel. It doesn't matter what you love: Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, third-party, PC, VR, indie, whatever it may be. If you love gaming, consider subscribing. Like I said, share with your friends. We cover gaming daily. At least we will be moving from this point forward. I know I took like a week break, but that's just because I've been working on so many other things. But yeah, appreciate all y'all for tuning in. And if you're watching on Spotify, appreciate you tuning in. I mean, I think you can follow on Spotify. I'm not really sure how that works on Spotify. I'll be honest with you. I'm not for certain on that, but I appreciate y'all tuning in nonetheless, or whatever service you're on. Hey, I appreciate the support nonetheless. But let's get started with some housekeeping. So yeah, I haven't been doing the videos for like a week. The last video I did, I think, was the Doom video, like talking about Doom: The Dark Ages, all the information and stuff like that. And then I did the Xbox Developer Direct reaction, which, by the way, went crazy. Thank you all so much for the support. Just outstanding performing video, but it was honestly just so much fun to even do in the first place, and I'm just happy it did. Like it's something I would do 10 times over again because it was so fun. But yeah, so really haven't been doing much, but I've had so much planned, and I have a ton of videos planned. Some of them we're actually going to be doing this podcast. Like, we're going to do a Ninja Gaiden video. We're going to do an Expedition 33 video. We're going to be doing a South of Midnight video. And I'm kind of going to be talking about those games in this podcast. We're going to be doing those videos in this podcast, which is kind of weird, but like, you'll get it. You'll understand when we get to that point. But then, yeah, we're also going to, I have so many other videos planned as well. Like here, honestly, I'll just pull up my Google Sheets. I mean, look, it's just me and y'all right now. If you're watching video, sorry, there's a really bright white light on the screen right now. But it's just me and you, so we're just gonna talk. I want a video covering Capcom and Sega individually, just covering how amazing they are. I'm doing not a prediction. I'm doing a video basically predicting or covering the entire year for Nintendo and Xbox. It is more or less predictions for the most part. And then I do want to talk about Phantom Blade Zero at some point as well. I do want to make a video covering that. But outside of that, I have like rankings, some tier lists. I have some anime reactions that are already recorded. Isaiah came over. We did recordings. So I have some of those in the chamber, in the vault. Just need to actually plan on uploading those things. And then, yeah, we'll see what other content I do, depending on what games come out here soon. Don't know if there'll be gameplay, covering, reviews. I do have to do, like, a review on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We'll see how far I even get in it, because I don't know. We'll see. I'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 this video, or this podcast as well. But yeah, so just a lot going on. But then two other things that I need to that will be uploaded within the next week. One of them being the United Game Awards. That did get hit with a delay on my part just because I had so many other things going on, and I just didn't want to rush it or didn't want to have to do crunch time. So that will. Oh my gosh, it just started pouring outside. Sorry if y'all can hear that. But yeah, United Game Awards will happen. It just got delayed, or I delayed it. But it should be happening within the next week. All the nominees will be out by tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm announcing or showing the nominees for the Johnny Murr Award and the Game of the Year Award. So make sure you go check all that out on my Instagram or Twitter. And then the other video that will be coming out within the next week is our fantasy draft. This is something we did like a month ago at this point. We did our fantasy critic draft, which is like where me, Jordan, Isaiah, and Austin are all in a fantasy critic league, which is basically fantasy football but for video games. And we did a draft, which means we like picked 6 games each that we think is gonna review well. I need to upload that, but we have it. It's ready. I just actually needed to do it. But yeah, so there's everything going out, and then housekeeping outside of like video game and this channel. I've said it a couple times on this channel. I am a music producer. I do produce music, and I just announced a new mixtape coming out February 21st. It's called Go Hard or Go Home, and I'm very, very excited for this. It will be on all streaming platforms, and just full disclosure, these are not songs in the sense of like there's no singing, there's no rapping. It's just instrumentals, production, beats, whatever you want to call it. But it is it is like a body of work. And, I try to stay to a theme, and I've just put a lot of work into it, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very excited for it. And yeah, make sure you go check that out. Again, on my Instagram or Twitter or wherever you may follow me on. But yeah, just been doing a lot of things. Been going to been doing a lot of photo shoots recently for social media and just personal uses, and music as well. I've been going to the gym a lot recently. And yeah, I've just been doing a lot. Going to school, been doing other things like going to like church groups and stuff like that. So I've just been focused on so many other things that, unfortunately, I'm somebody who has so many hobbies. I say unfortunately. It's not unfortunate. I'm very fortunate for it. I'm just somebody who has so many hobbies to where sometimes I'll get so locked in on one hobby, and in particularly these last like 2 weeks, music I've been so locked in on that other hobbies get put on the back burner. You know what I mean? Or like sometimes I'll be so locked in on gaming that music gets put on the back burner. It really is kind of hard. I'm trying to learn to balance it. That's something I just got to work on. But yeah, that's pretty much all the housekeeping. Just that I've been locked in. Even though you may not be seeing it on this channel, I've been locked in, just on other things, you know what I mean? But I will say I do feel like I can be more locked in, if that makes sense. I feel like I've been doing pretty good, but I feel like I could do better. But yeah, so very, very exciting stuff. I may also stream again soon. We'll see. I may hop back on some Marvel Rivals or something. I haven't been on that game in a hot minute as well. And then I may also finish Indiana Jones on stream. We'll see. But yeah, all right, let's get talking about video games, because that's why you're here, right? I mean, we want to talk about video games, and I want to talk about video games, and I'm sure everybody in the world. What? Oh, hold on, sorry. Austin just typed something in chat. I like read it without even comprehending what the heck I'm reading. He said, "Forever Alone podcast, less than we are making it out the trenches with this one tonight." I'm so confused. But yeah, let's get talking about video games, starting with our first topic. Like I said, we're just going to be covering a bunch of different things. Let's just talk about some games that I've been playing. Yeah, nothing. So yeah, thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching the podcast. It was really, really great. Yeah, it was really, really great 2 weeks of playing games. It's funny, bro. I went crazy in January. I finished like 6-7 games, right? But I don't know, just as soon as I did that, like I kind of just stopped. Like I just thought, like I genuinely haven't touched the game until today. I played like an hour of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm taking this thing off my screen because it is such a bright light. Oh, there we go. So much better. I played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 today for like an hour. I'm probably putting it down. For now, we'll see. I may pick it back up eventually. I may like I may try to play like 5 hours of it this week, just because that's like my personal moral, like play 5 hours of games. Like that's what I consider at least trying out a game. I just number one, the game is just not really what I'm in the mood for right now, to be honest, which is very hypocritical of me, because like my most anticipated game right now is like Avowed, in the sense of like that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Like obviously Doom and Ghost of Yotei are my most anticipated games, but like I just like, now that we're actually so close to Avowed, like I genuinely just like I just want to play it. Like I want to play it. Same thing with Monster Hunter Wilds. Like I just really want to play it. Like I don't even care about the other things, right? So I'm not in the mood for it, right? Second of all, I'm personally just I wasn't really the biggest fan of the first one. And the second one, while I from the first hour I can already tell is much better production wise. I still just don't feel like I'm vibing with it very, very much. Like I'm not really having any fun, really, in the slightest. I just don't like its combat. I'm not a big fan of just the type of RPG it is. And so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not doubting its quality, even though personally I have already seen a bunch of things that I would genuinely critique about it. Like one of them for sure. I don't know if I'd call it performance or production, but audio keeps clipping. Like it keeps like cutting, like it keeps glitching in a way, but it's not frame rate. It's just like it just keeps like chopping. I wonder if that's a PS5 Pro issue, maybe. But then also like it feels clumsy. It feels clumsy, like, which the first game was kind of a lot like that. I feel like it's what they're going for, but like it is that Chivalry 2 feeling of like you're so first person, trying to walk up a stairs will feel like the whole camera's like going crazy, or if you like bump into a wall, you'll like your character will go like boop, boop, like it'll just like, I don't know, I'm just not really having a good time, to be honest with you. And the thing is a certain game like this happened last year called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I was looking forward to it. I wasn't looking forward to it. I was freaking excited for it. But it came out and I was like, you know what? I just don't really feel like playing it right now. Genuinely. Like, I know it's a good game. I just don't feel like playing it right now. So what did I do? I waited. Unfortunately, I waited like 10 months. But, you know, I waited for it. And when the time was right, I'm like, you know what? I feel it. I feel like playing it now. I played it and I absolutely loved it. Maybe that'll happen with this game again. But honestly, 1 hour in, I just really don't want to play it. So Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will be something. I will play more eventually. Just right now, I'm not really positive I want to. And that could generally be just the fact that I'm so excited for some other games that I just am completely like avoiding this one, which isn't the. I'm not trying to avoid it. I just, you know what I mean. Like, if I want to play football or tennis, and some person asks me to play baseball. Never mind. That's a terrible example. We're gonna move to the next thing. But yeah, so Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it went crazy though. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Reviews and everybody I've seen talk about it is just praising the game. And I could see why. Even with my personal unenjoyment of it so far, I noticed all of its qualities and all of its improvements so far on the first one. The production value alone is outstanding. Like, it really does feel like a movie. It doesn't even feel like a movie. It is a movie. Like, it generally the whole first hour, 40 minutes of it is like cutscenes and like talking with people. It's a very slow start, but it's a very good one because it sets a lot of groundwork. I think where I genuinely wanted, I think the point where I genuinely wanted to be like, I don't really feel like playing this right now, is when the tutorials started popping up and there were essays of descriptions. I was like, do I really feel like trying to understand all this right now? Because let me tell you, there is one screen. It's one of the first screen that pops up that tries to explain things. It has a bajillion different words on it, all with a bajillion different symbols on it, and it just looks like a mess. And it's very overwhelming. It's very overwhelming to the point where you're like, I don't even want to read this, but I have to because I'm not going to understand anything if I don't read this. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's really unfortunate. But yeah, it's a beautiful game. The music so far has been shocking me. Like, I've really been liking the music, like to the point where I actually like went and looked up the soundtrack because I don't know. Again, I don't know how much of the game I'm actually gonna play, but I was like, the soundtrack is kind of cooking. So I actually like looked up its OST and stuff like that. Yeah. Big congrats to Warhorse Studios. I do believe that's the studio's name. They have a huge success on their hands. It scored remarkably well. I think it's like 87 on Metacritic, if I do believe. That was what it was the last time I checked. 88. So outstanding, absolutely outstanding score. On OpenCritic, I think it has an 89, which is even better for fantasy players. But yeah, big congrats to them, and they have sold 1 million copies in the first 24 hours. It's a W. That's a W. That's a very good. It's a very good accomplishment. But yeah, when I say I really haven't played anything, I mean I genuinely haven't played anything. Like, even the games that I was playing or that I was planning on beating, I just they were just non-existent. Like Indiana Jones, I still haven't touched it. That will be a game I finish this week. I'm telling you right now, that is the one game I want to finish before Avowed. Because I do not want to start an Xbox game without finishing the last Xbox game. That is just wrong. That is just morally wrong. Okay? So I'm gonna beat Indiana Jones. And then the next thing I'm gonna play, I'm gonna finish Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I still haven't beat that. I generally just put everything on pause. Which is, it's okay. I mean, it's not like, it's not like you have to play video games every second of your life, even though some would argue to different. Maybe. But anyway, it is, look, we're going to be cooking this week. Next week's podcast, whether it's solo or not, I'll have a great progress report for you. Okay? How about that? I'll have a great progress report for you. I got to drink some Diet Coke. Hold on a second. Oh, that was nice. All right. Anyway, let's get talking about, let's get talking about the upcoming games, right? Because we talk about games that I've been playing, which is pretty much nothing. Let's talk about the games that are upcoming. I've already talked about Avowed. I've already talked about Monster Hunter Wilds. So, Avowed, man. This has been a game. What a roller coaster. You know what? Let me tell you, I'm so curious about Avowed. Let me tell you. I don't even know. I don't know where I sit outside the fact that I'm like, I want to play it, right? Because what a roller coaster this game is, okay? When it was announced back in 2020 with that really cool CG trailer, that was like my most anticipated Xbox game. Like outside of Starfield and Fable, right? Starfield, Fable, and Avowed. Those were like that was like my holy trinity of announced Xbox games, right? But then I think it was like 2022, right? Or was it 2023? We got that first gameplay trailer, and it kind of like threw everybody for a loop. Like it threw literally everybody for a loop. Like nobody knew it was Avowed until it said Avowed, and they were like, "Oh, that's Avowed." Like because it switched its graphics, it switched its art style, it switched its game, like it switched everything outside the fact that it's a fantasy game, a fantasy RPG, right? And while what they showed didn't look bad, it was just not what anybody was expecting whatsoever, to the point where it kind of looked bad. Like to the point where we were like, actually, I don't know if I should be as hyped for this as I thought I was going to be. And it really shot down on so many people's lists, including myself. Like it was a game where I was excited for it, but it never reached that upper echelon again, right? But then it got its developer direct in 2024. Is that right? I think 2024. Yeah, last year's Xbox Developer Direct, it got its developer direct showcase and everything. And I thought it looked much better. I was liking the idea for what they were going with combat. I thought the combat looked like it needed more work, or it was looking a bit rough, but I liked the idea they're going for, where you have a dual wield of whatever you want. You can go shield wand, you could go wand sword, you could go 2 swords, you go 2 wands, you go 2 shields. Like I really like that idea where you can like kind of mix and match whatever kind of playstyle you want instead of just having like one weapon at a time. I think that's really cool. I like the fact that there is a lot of magic and spells to it. And I thought visually it was looking much better, but I still wasn't really sold on it. Like, sold to the point where, like, I wasn't sure if this game was actually going to be as good as what it should, coming from Obsidian. But then it got another trailer at the June showcase, and I was like, okay, you know what? I feel like this game might be slept on, because it was just off to a really rough start because of the amazing start that it had with that initial CG trailer. And I was like, okay, this game kind of got off to a rough start. But I feel like people were starting to warm up to it. I was starting to warm up to it. And then it got a release date, and then it got delayed, and everyone's like, we kind of just want to play the game now. Like we don't want to see any more trailers. We don't want to talk about it anymore. Like, it's Obsidian. We kind of know what we're going to get out of it. Like, let's just play it now. But then previews started coming out for it. People actually got to go and get hands-on with the game, and they were very, very positive about the game. And then now Avowed is kind of like that. It's just going to be like, I feel like it's just a really safe game at this point. I don't know how exceeding the expectations, or I don't know how it'll exceed expectations. I don't know how it'll fall short of expectations. I kind of just, I do think that this is just going to be an overall solid game. But the problem is now I'm like really excited for it, because I'm in the mood to play it for some reason. So we'll see. Like I said, it's been a roller coaster. Like, the fact that I'm about to play the game that was originally in my top 3 most anticipated Xbox games before the Series X even came out is kind of mind-blowing to me, that, like, we've come this far. And the fact that I'm not even so sure how good it's going to be, I don't know. We'll see, man. Avowed coming out next week, honestly. Well, if you buy early access, it'll come out next week. I will be buying early access, so I'm very much looking for. I think I'll be able to play it the 13th, I do believe. Yes, the 13th. So, hey, looking forward to it. But then the other game coming out this month is Monster Hunter Wilds. Very excited for this. This is Capcom, my goat. I'm a Monster Hunter fan. I don't love Monster Hunter because it's just never been one of those franchises I've fallen in love with. But I've enjoyed every Monster Hunter game I've played, and this one I'm hoping it will just be another good one. Hopefully exceed my expectations. But for how much I've been loving Capcom these past couple years, I wouldn't be shocked if I end up loving the Monster Hunter Wilds as well. And so yeah, I don't really know. I don't really have much to speak on this, just because I don't really know what there is to say about it that hasn't already been said, or that isn't just an obvious comment. Like, Capcom literally hasn't missed in... This is a great question. Capcom hasn't missed since... what? Because I don't consider Exoprimal a miss. That game is still online, isn't it? If that game is still online, that's kind of crazy. Is it still alive? Its content has been completed, but it is still online. Basically, they just finished all the content. Okay. So I don't I don't really know how to take that. But yeah, I don't really know the last time they've missed. So, that's one thing. Dragon's Dogma 2. That's not a miss. Even though you don't like it, and even though I thought it was just fine. It's not a miss. Absolutely not a miss. Exoprimal is a miss, bro. Let's be real. No, I don't think it was, because I thought it was fun. I just never had anyone to play it with, so I just never really played it. And it got a good amount of players. It just kind of like fell off after like a month or whatnot. I mean, it scored okay. Like, what does it have on Meta? Hang on, wait. Let's figure this out. That might be a miss. Oh, brother. Does indeed have a... I just looked at it and I forgot what it had. It was a 60-something. Hang on. 67. That's not great. It's not great. Okay. Exoprimal's their only miss. All right. There we go. Yeah. So look, Capcom's my goat. All right. I don't care. Sega had Sonic in the Olympics. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. We have a lot of things we could bring up, but nonetheless, I'm very excited for Monster Hunter Wilds. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, that's the only thing I'm trying to say. I have big confidence it's at least going to be high 80s. 90s might be pushing it. Frontiers sold well. Try again, buddy. I didn't even say anything about Frontiers. What are you talking about? What? What? I didn't say anything about Frontiers. I said they put Sonic in the Olympics because there was that one Olympics game and they had like Sonic as like a skin, and it was the most stupid. You said Sonic was in the Olympics. Yeah. They put some stupid Sonic skin in the Olympics and it looked so dumb. It was hilarious. All right. Well, anyway. But yeah, man. Also, we could bring up hyenas, but I don't want to go there. Anyway, so the other game coming out in February. Did I say there were two games? I think I did. Well, anyway, the other game coming out in February is Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza. This is a game I'm looking forward to. I'm not necessarily excited for it, just because, I don't know, I'm just not, like, super duper excited for it, but I am looking forward to it, just because I've never not enjoyed a Yakuza game that isn't action based. So we'll see. Actually, I wouldn't even say I didn't enjoy the turn-based Yakuza game. I just didn't. It wasn't really just. I didn't fall in love with it, or I didn't get like addicted to it. Oh, that's a count. Yo, if that's the case, bro. If Highness would never release, so that don't count. Or if that's the case, then I guess Ubisoft and EA and all those other things that you always rip to shreds for is just okay. All right, good to know. Good to know. But yeah, man. But yeah, Pyro Yakuza. This one looks to be really I can't even speak. Really fun. I just love that they're getting super duper wacky with it. I love that they're getting super duper just creative. They're going outside the typical formula. They're using a main protagonist. I know. Oh god, what's the guy's name? I can't even think of the guy's name. I know he's been in other games, but like he's actually taken the spotlight this time around, which is really cool. But yeah, our RGG, man, they also have not missed like almost ever. So that'll be it's like saying Earthblade was a miss because it didn't really. No, bro. Anytime like we get news like, oh, a bunch of games have been canceled by this company, you always go off on the company, bro. What are you talking about? All right. Man, you're getting me off topic. Stop being a nuisance. Golly. That's what I'm saying, because they need to do better, right? So where's the difference with Sega, bro? They need to do better. They shouldn't have invested like however much budget that was in that Hyenas game and then cancel it, bro. All right. They should have just. I don't even know what they should have done. They should have just never done it in the first place. But yeah. Yeah, no dirt. I'm not saying they're not, bro. Oh my god, this guy will refuses. Oh my gosh, one game didn't release, bro. Whatever. Man, bro threw me off so much. I don't even know what I was talking about anymore. Pirate Yakuza. That's what I was talking about. Jesus, I got there. Capcom had it. All right, you know what? We're going to Metacritic right now. Guarantee you Sega's had something in the 60s. Guarantee you. This dude wants to play this game so bad. It's unbelievable. You know what? Sonic Superstars has a 73. It's not very good. If you consider Dragon's Dogma a miss, I'm considering Bayonetta 3 a miss, low key. Because that was also divisive. All right. Well, the whole podcast is ruined now because this guy is so unrelentless. But the score is high. So is Dragon's Dogma. Bro, what are you on about? What? Dragon's Dogma 2, yeah. 86. Same as Bayonetta, actually. Bayonetta's score is overrated, let's be real. All right? I don't want to hear none of it. This dude. Unbelievable. Bum, 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 bum. Boom, 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 boom. Well, we're about to find out. We're about to find out, dog. Because bro wants to play this game so bad. Trying to think of. I'm trying to find specific game. Like I can't even think of like games. They're all so irrelevant. It's unbelievable. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. Samba de Amigo has a 71. Oh, I wish it was 2 points lower. Oh, you're so lucky. Yeah. Lucky little boy. I'm 71. I don't know about that one, Chief. 71 is pretty bad too. I mean, it's not awful. Neither is Exoprimal, I'll be honest. Like Exoprimal was not an awful game. It just wasn't great. Boom, boom, boom. I don't even know what that game is. What is that? Oh. Oh. My lights just flickered. That's interesting. Wait, they made that game? Wait, what? No way they made that game. Who made this game? Wait. Oh, you may have just lost, sir. Hold on. I didn't know they made this game. Show me who they made this game. Bro, why can't I? Ooh, Bayonetta Origins is a flop for sure. Not a like a miss, but it's definitely a flop. That's a good shout. Bro, just show me who the heck. Oh, yep. Okay, there it is. By Sega. A 69 on Metacritic. The Demon Slayer game that came out in 2022. That was a miss. That was a miss. It's their fault for doing an anime fighting game. They should know better. Honestly. Hey, I'm keeping it real, bro. Not even a Sega owned IP. Their fault for licensing them out, bro. Not my issue. There you go. See, everybody has a flop. Everybody has a flop. Or no, not a flop, a miss. There you go. Oh, man. All right. Well, anyway. I'm glad I'm recording this podcast because I can just edit it out. Edit all that out. That's the only reason I went on that tangent, because I know I can edit it out. Okay, let me see. Where... all right, so the next what we're gonna published by Sega 69. It's crazy. It's crazy. Shouldn't be that way, bro. Shouldn't be that way. And also, it's your fault for coming after Capcom. Okay. Second of all, you didn't have to do that, but this stubborn little boy over here. All right, I'm also stubborn, so I can't really say stuff. But this stubborn little boy. He went there, so I had to go there. That's just how it is. How it is. I ain't gonna let nobody push me around. Stand on business. That's how it be. Jordan just asked me, how much have you played so far of Kingdom Come Deliverance? Who's gonna tell him, bro? who's gonna tell him? Should I tell him? I don't want to tell him. I'm older than you. Start acting like it. No, I'm just I love that, dude. I saw a clip of somebody saying that. It was like this massive dude. He like goes little boy, and he's like, I'm older than you, and he's like, start acting like it. Tell him to get on the podcast and ask. I'm gonna tell him 1 hour. That's it. How much have you played so far? I'm gonna be like 1 hour. We'll see what he says. It's gonna be funny. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, we're gonna do my own we're gonna record the videos that go on my YouTube channel, this podcast. It's partially the reason I'm doing a solo podcast. We're gonna do the Ninja Gaiden video, we're gonna do the South of Midnight video, and the Expedition 33 video. Just kind of going over all those stuff. Yes, I'm gonna lock in and do the podcast. Sorry, there's just too many distractions. You're a distraction. Jordan's now a distraction. I love you both. Well, I love one of them. Anyway, I'm just. I can't do this. I need to turn chat and my phone off. That's what I need to do. Or do I gotta get in there? He said I'm out. Oh, that's crazy, bro. Oh, that's wild. Oh, I love it. Oh, you know what? Who would ever turn off chat? That's the real question. Who would ever do that? You know what? Change plans. top 5 sandwiches right now. Number 1, ham and cheese sandwich. Solid. Can't go wrong. Honestly. Like, just a bang up sandwich. Let me tell you. Sandwich 2, just a ham sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's really plain. I know it's really simple. But, like, just ham on bread. It's pretty solid. 3. What about a turkey and cheese sandwich? Yep. Yep. It's nice. It's nice. It's good stuff. 4. Yeah, that's all the sandwiches I've ever had. I don't know. I can't think of any more sandwiches, bro. All right. Anyway. All right. We're done. We're done. All right. We're done being idiots. All right. Let's actually do this now. Let's actually do this now. Okay. Let me pull up all my stuff, and then we can get going. Here. Oh, Chronos New Dawn. We need to talk about that game too, as well as Phantom Blade Zero. We need to talk about that one too. We're not gonna do all those this episode, but oh, that's something else we gotta talk about. The whole Xbox stuff. There's a lot of Xbox stuff we gotta talk about. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen. Well, actually, there's not much. Wait, where's all my? I feel like I don't have like anything about Ninja Gaiden. Oh yeah, they are. They're all from. The only reason I said it is because I got Jersey Mike's tonight, so, and I was the trash is right there. It's the only reason I thought about it. This podcast is screwed, bro. It's wrapped. Hang on. You know what? Hang on. I know what I'm gonna talk about. All right, stop asking me questions. Do my job. Oh, I'll do my job. Oh, I'll kick you. All right. All right. Listen. Hang on. Where is my? Welcome back to Player Way. I'm your host, Johnny Murray here. I can't do this. All right, no, we're good. All right, there you go. All right, we're good. All right, so like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be covering everything that I've missed leading up to this point. There's a lot that I just haven't really talked about. A lot of videos that I've been wanting to do that I just haven't gotten to. So we're going to do 3 of those in this episode, and then we're going to talk about all the rumors and all the news topics afterwards. So we're going to start with Ninja Gaiden 4, because that is one on my mind, one of my most anticipated games. So I'm not going to do like the intros to the videos. I'll do those separately, but I'm going to like do the meat and bones of this podcast. Or of the video, right? See, I can't do this. I need to turn my phone off. I get a notification, I get thrown completely off. Okay, let's see what this dude's talking about. Oh my god, this guy. This is Austin's fault. It's all his fault. That's what it is. This dude is purposely trying to ruin this podcast. You know what? I know what it is. He wanted to be on the podcast so bad that he decided, you know what? I'm going to make this podcast a living nightmare for John. That's what's going on here. And I got one news for Austin right now. I got one piece of news for him right now. You're ugly, all right? Deal with it. Poopy head. Golly. All right. Man, I freaking shifted my mic over here. Hold on. All right. We're good. This is all Austin's fault. This is his fault. All right. All right. You know what? Turning my phone up. Throw it. I'm not actually gonna throw it. Hold on. There. Oh, come on. I hate it here so bad. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay. All right. No more distractions. The phone is gone. The phone is gone. Okay. Listen. The only reason I am not the only reason that I am not just shutting up and focusing on the podcast is because I'm recording. Yes, I'm streaming, but the thing is, I can always delete the stream afterwards. I have the recording. I can cut all this out, all right? Because this podcast is going on Spotify. Granted, the first 20 minutes where we were actually talking about stuff like Kingdom Come and stuff like that, that is solid stuff. But then as soon as Austin shut up and started being a nuisance, all right, that's when things went off the side, all right? And now we're here. Now I'm trying to lock back in. I can cut all this out, all right? I can cut all this out. All right. We're locking in right now. See? No. See, I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm not even going to respond. Ninja Gaiden 4, man. Where's my phone? I need my phone. Oh my God. I need my phone for the video. Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the only piece of Austin you're ever going to see on Player Way for the next 3 months because of today, okay? This is all you got. This is all you're getting.
Sounds like a skill issue, bro. I'd lock in if it was me.
It's the only piece of Austin you're getting on Player Way for the next 3 months, at least, minimum, all right? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Bro said, would you like some assistance? He said that guy is spitting. You're good, bro. You're good. I'm good. We're chilling. All right, so talking about Ninja Gaiden 4. Now, as you guys probably saw if you watched my Xbox reaction, or me and Austin's Xbox Developer Direct reaction, this was easily our game of the show, I think, in terms of what we were most surprised about, or just the most exciting moment in the whole show. Obviously, Austin's most anticipated game is Expedition 33, and mine was Doom: The Dark Ages. But like in terms of like the show or like what we saw or just the surprise factor, Ninja Gaiden 4 not only was ours, but it was like majority of everyone's watching. Like Ninja Gaiden 4 just kind of like stole the show. But this is a franchise that, you know, I have a large history with, because it's a franchise that like me and my dad used to try and beat back on the PS3, because before there were Souls games, there were Ninja Gaiden games. And Ninja Gaiden 3 specifically is, oh my gosh, so hard. But it's just a series that I've always just really loved the aesthetic. I just thought it's really, really cool. And Ninja Gaiden 4, the fact that it's even a thing already is kind of incredible. But what made it even better was just what they showed, how they showed it, how it came to be. And it all started with the lead up to this game. The lead up to the game was really, really cool, because basically every year they announce an Xbox Developer Direct, and they show what games are going to be part of the Developer Direct. This year, the lineup was really good with Doom Dark Ages, South of Midnight, and Expedition 33 with the third-party support there. But then they also said there were going to be a brand new surprise game from another studio, and it's a brand new reveal. Then it was later reported and rumored that that this would be a Japanese game with a Japanese franchise with a long-lasting history of decades. And so with that in mind, it started doing so many like different like tree effects in a way. Like it kind of just kept spreading and spreading and spreading. And I just realized I'm not even on my, oh my God. There we go. Just realized this is a video, not a podcast, but we're doing it live. I'm not redoing all that. So, all right, look, just to explain what's going on. I'm recording videos while doing a podcast in a sense, right? This is the podcast screen. This is the video screen. Okay. So this is so scalped. It's just over. All right. Never mind. We're just gonna restart. So when we gotta start talking about Ninja Gaiden 4, we gotta talk about like how surprised we were, how like exciting the reveal was, and it starts with how it even came to be, right? This is a franchise I have a lot of history with. This is one on the PS3 me and my dad would always try to beat, because before there were Souls games, there were Ninja Gaiden games. Like those were the difficulty games, and Ninja Gaiden 3 specifically, oh man, it made you go crazy. But I've always just been a fan of the aesthetic, at the gameplay, and just the type of game it was. I was always just a really big fan of it. And I never thought Ninja Gaiden would even come back. And so what happened was that during this Xbox Developer Direct, they announced their lineups like they typically do. We have Doom, South of Midnight, and then they were throwing in some third-party support with Expedition 33. But then they also said there was going to be one more surprise game. And then they also said there's going to be a brand new reveal, that it was going to be from a surprise studio, so it could either be a first party or a third party studio. But then rumors and reports started circulating that it was going to be a Japanese game from a Japanese franchise with historic decades of history or something like that. And that kind of just kept like making this tree effect go everywhere, making everybody's guesses or expectations go crazy. We were getting Resident Evils, we were getting Devil May Cry's, we were getting Dragon Quests, we were getting like Chrono Triggers, we were getting some crazy things. Among those speculations was Ninja Gaiden. That was something that some people were speculating. But for the most part, really nobody knew. Like, this was generally this could be anything. Like, this could generally be anything. But what was really exciting is when they opened up the show. They opened up the whole show with the fact that they went to that surprise game. They didn't go to one of the other three games. They went straight to that surprise game. And it showed the Team Ninja logo. As soon as it showed that, almost everybody knew for a fact this was Ninja Gaiden. And what's even crazier is they also announced that this is Xbox publishing as well. So this is, I'm personally not a fan of Aaron Greenberg saying that this is a first-party game, because it is absolutely not. That is not what first-party means. This is a second-party game. This is Xbox publishing, partnering with studios that they do not own. That is second-party, not first-party. But this is going to be an Xbox game. At the end of the day, this is an Xbox game. In the same way that Stellar Blade and Rise of the Ronin are PlayStation games, even though they're not like, first party, they are PlayStation games. This is going to be an Xbox game because it is, they own the rights to this game at the end of the day. It may not be exclusive, it may not be first party, but they own the rights to this game and they are publishing this game. Therefore, it is an Xbox game. But what's even crazier is what they showed and how they showed it, because obviously you already have the excitement factor, like, holy crap, Ninja Gaiden is back, right? Like, oh my gosh, who would have thought? And second of all, thank God, because the series is awesome. But where it really got everybody is when it also said Platinum Games. That is when everybody genuinely, like, it became a reality that we were witnessing an incredible moment, because number one, you're seeing a historic franchise that has been begged to come back for literally generations. Since the PS3, since the 360, people have been begging for Ninja Gaiden to come back. You're seeing Team Ninja bring back one of their flagship franchises. You're seeing Xbox partner with a Japanese studio. Number 4, you're seeing the first game in the Xbox Developer Direct. And number 5, you're seeing an amazing crossover collaboration between Platinum Games and Team Ninja. And then sixth of all, the game looks awesome. The game looks straight up awesome. This is very futuristic. It's very, like, techy. Like, there's a lot of cyberpunky-esque things to it. But it just looks awesome. We are getting Ryu Hayabusa back as one of the main characters, but there is also another main character. It's they're going with the dual protagonist thing, kind of like Bayonetta 3 in a way. I can't remember what the guy's Yakumo. I think that is Yakumo is the other protagonist's name. But basically, from what is showed in the trailer, you're basically gonna be playing as Yakumo and Ryu Hayabusa in their own kind of perspectives through their own timeline sorts of chapters, and eventually they're going to cross paths, and at first they're going to be enemies, but I'm sure they're going to join up to beat some big baddie. I would honestly love it if that was just the whole game, like them just being enemies. I like, that'd be so cool if they didn't do the whole typical, like, oh, we're against each other at first, but now we have to join forces to defeat this ultimate threat. No, I would just love it if it's Ryu Hayabusa and Yakumo in their two separate stories, two separate playthroughs, and they eventually meet each other, cross paths, and they're just like sworn rivals for the rest of it. Because one thing that they did confirm through interviews and through details about the game is that this will not be a replacement moment, which I know that I saw some people saying, as well as me. I also said it, like, I think in the reaction. I don't want this to be a Bayonetta 3 moment where they introduce a new protagonist, you do dual protagonists throughout the whole game, and eventually that new protagonist will just completely take over the role of main protagonist. I really hope they don't do that, because Ninja Gaiden is Ryu Hayabusa. Like, in the same way Bayonetta is Bayonetta. You can't just take Bayonetta out of it. Like, it's just crazy. But so for me, that is one thing that I was really looking for, is confirmation that this is not going to be a replacement game, which I'm very happy for that. But also, this game has been in development for 6-7 years. That's actually kind of crazy to think about, meaning that this game started development before the Series X even came out or was announced. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to think about it. And honestly, you can kind of see it. They showed a lot at the Developer Direct. I mean, the fact that it was even at the Developer Direct says a lot. They showed a lot of gameplay. It looks high octane. It looks super action packed. It looks fast paced. The thing I love about the gameplay and what we saw is that as a Team Ninja fan, I love a lot of Team Ninja games. Wo Long, Neo, Rise of the Ronin, stuff like that. I love a lot of those games. And so the fact that Ninja Gaiden is coming back, I'm obviously very excited. This game looks like Team Ninja, but then at the same time, it looks like Platinum Games. Like they really did find that perfect middle ground between both of their specialities, between both of their strong suits, and they've just combined it into a franchise that is just super awesome. Ninja Gaiden is so awesome, and I'm so excited that it's back, and I'm super duper excited. They did say that it's gonna be coming out in fall of 2024, of 2025. We're no longer in 2024. We're in 2025. Let's get real. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see how this one turns out. Now, we definitely have to see more on the story. We have to see more of like content wise, like how long is it going to be? Is it going to be just a streamlined thing? I personally hope it is just like the old games where it's just chapter after chapter. I don't want it to be like open zone or anything like that. Like don't do anything stupid with it. But then also, like, what does progression look like? Do you get 2 separate movesets and abilities, slate of abilities with each character? I'm pretty sure I've read somewhere that is the case right now. That both of them will play differently, have their own set of weapons and abilities, which I'm super down for. Makes me super happy to hear that. I do think the new character looks cool. Yakumo, I think, looks really cool. He's more of like a cyber ninja in a way. But then you have Ryu Hayabusa, which is that, old-timey ninja, but with some futuristic aspects about him. But then they also did say that this game will take place in history and in the future. So, like, in a sense of, like, when you're playing Ryu Hayabusa, you'll be in those Japanese temples. You'll be in those, like, kind of scenery, nature-y areas, places. But then as Yakumo, you'll be in the city. You'll be, like, where all the futuristic technology is. I find that really interesting because then you're going to be getting a variety between both settings. But I'm hoping they're going to be able to find a balance there. And that'll be really, really exciting. I hope they just nail it. And honestly, that's like my major consensus for Ninja Gaiden 4 as a whole. I just hope they nail it. I don't want this to be Babylon's Fall type of Platinum Games. I don't want this to be like Wo Long just trying to cash grab, or no, not Wo Long, Team Ninja just trying to cash grab. I don't want this being like Xbox just sees a Japanese game and be like, yep, we need it. I want this to truly be a passion project. I want this to truly be like the return of like one of the best action franchise ever. And what's awesome is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black Shadow dropped the same time that they announced all of this, and it just kind of reinvigorated everybody's love for it. Like it just made everybody remember how much they actually loved the games, including myself. And so I'm just super excited to see how they execute on it, and I just hope they do. I hope they succeed, because I don't want it to go back into hiding for generations. So we'll see what happens with Ninja Gaiden 4, but yeah, fall 2025. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what y'all think of Ninja Gaiden 4 in the comments section. Let me know. Are you hyped for it? What's your how good do you think it's gonna be? Are you excited for the new character? Are you nervous? Let me know whatever it may be in the comments. I would love to talk about it. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Murray out. Peace. There you go. We actually got through one. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. All right, the next one we're going to be doing. Yeah, we're gonna do South of Midnight next. That sounds good. Okay. So, when talking about South of Midnight, I feel like this is an interesting one because I feel like this is going to be one of those games where the concept is there. It's either going to just be solid or it's going to exceed expectations, kind of like Hi-Fi Rush. I feel like this is one where it looks really cool, and I'm like, it seems like a passion project, but like, does it meet standards, right? And I feel like with Hi-Fi Rush, that was kind of the same thing, where it was like, okay, it looks cool. Will it actually be all that, though? And then when everybody played it, they were like, oh, yeah, no, it's all that. No, it's awesome. I'm really hoping the same thing happens with South of Midnight. Obviously, I do think this is a bit of a different story. I do think South of Midnight is a bigger production overall. It is probably a bigger game in some senses. It's been worked on and been advertised a lot more. But I think this game has a lot of potential. And we're going to talk about that, or we're going to talk about all the reasons, what I think of all the different aspects about the game. But the main thing, the first thing, it's on everybody's mind. Let's just get out the way. No matter how good the combat is, how the story is, how the music is, there is one aspect about this game that will forever just be the best aspect about the game. It's going to carry hard, not in the sense of like the other aspects suck, just that this aspect is genuinely what is driving the game's like interest and excitement, and that is its visuals. Its art style is just phenomenal with the stop motion, claymation looking stuff. It just looks so awesome. And also what I'm going to include here with the visuals is its setting as well. The fact that it is taking place in the Deep South, which is just a culture and a setting and environment that almost has never been explored in games before, I think is super duper cool. The way they've explained it and the way that they've presented like what inspired them to go here, what inspired them to learn more about it. It just is such an interesting concept, an interesting idea that if executed on can really be something of its own. It can be very unique. It can be very just interesting, right? So we'll see how it lands in terms of like how they bring it to life, because I think that is something that's going to matter for a lot of people. Is will the concept deliver? You know, we have the concept. It looks really cool. And what this game is it's an action adventure game, you know? So this isn't a straight up platformer. This isn't just a straight up action game. This isn't a puzzle game. Like, this is an action adventure. So it's going to have a bit of all of that. This isn't going to be open world. This isn't, you know, this isn't going to be any kind of thing like that. It's an action adventure game with a narrative focus to it. And I'm all for that. I think that's absolutely awesome. Sometimes you don't have to make the biggest open world. Sometimes you don't have to have the most rich progression system of all time. Sometimes you don't have to have more dialogue lines in the game than you do pixel count. Like, sometimes you just need a really solid story with some solid gameplay, with some solid visuals. Boom. There you go. Awesome game. And I think that's what this game could be. But I think this game could be very unique and just stand out very, very well. Which I think is why this game even has the amount of hype that it has. Is because of just how unique and how interesting that it looks. I don't think you could ask anybody to predict like its Metacritic score or what it's going to get from IGN. I don't think you can ask anybody to predict that with them being 100% confident, because this could go so many ways. This is coming from Compulsion Games, which they have made interesting games in the past, but to say that they have never missed, or to say that they have delivered some really high quality things in the past, is kind of a stretch, because they've made low budget things. They've made things that were kind of just like whatever. They've made things that are cool but kind of okay. Like, there really hasn't been any concrete evidence to be like, yo, this game is going to hit. This game is going to be awesome. Which I do find that a little worrisome, because with a game like this, with it being a huge step for the studio, you have to ask yourself, okay, how underdeveloped or how bare bones is it going to feel? Like, are there going to be aspects or part of this game where you feel, man, the sequel, I'm sure, can improve on this a lot, but currently, how it stands, it's not too hot? Or will it be like, man, this studio really outdid themselves? You know what I mean? I feel like it can really go one of two ways there. And I'm really excited to see. This is a game I actually personally picked up on my Fantasy Critic, because I do think this game has a lot of potential to exceed expectations. I do think there is definitely a floor for this one. I could see this being a high 70s or low 80s for the fact that, like I said, this is a small studio, the huge step into a big budget. I could see the combat not being deep enough. I could see the progression not being deep enough. I could see it being too short. I could see it being a multitude of things of why the game doesn't meet certain people's standards. But at the same time, from the things that we do see here, the music, the world building, the story, the visuals, I can see it being those high 80s because it does meet certain standards. So I think that this is, again, going to be a game in the sense of, what do you want out of it, and does it meet those expectations? Because if you are going into this expecting super rich combat, like the most satisfying, like, action sequences of all time, if you're expecting a god tier OST, if you're expecting a story to introduce you to multi-iconic characters, I don't know you're gonna get it. You know, I just don't. I'd be shocked if you do, to be honest with you. But if you're expecting a game that is going to be a breath of fresh air, if you're expecting a game that is going to be beautiful, if you're expecting a game that is going to be fun, if you're expecting a game that is going to be creative, that is going to explore things that haven't really explored in games before, then South of Midnight is for you. And I think that is one thing that a lot of games get wrong and get right, is what audience are they targeting? And from the consumer's perspective, what do they want out of that game? There are so many games where it's like, well, this should have been like that because this game did it that way. Yeah, well, that game's not that game. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that can go wrong in terms of consumers' expectations compared to what is actually delivered in the product. It's just really sad to see certain games get that treatment. And so when this is a game that releases in Game Pass to millions of players day one, when this is a game that looks as unique as this one because of its art style and its world building, I think you have a lot of potential to exceed expectations, no matter what they are, in a way. The problem is, I don't think this is a surefire guaranteed game to do that. But we'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, I'm super duper excited for it. It is releasing in April 8th, I do believe, so we're not too far away, honestly. I'm very, very excited for this one. I do think that this game will be a breakout. I wouldn't say hit in terms of like sales or whatnot. I do think this will be a breakout hit in terms of like reception to the game. I do feel like that this could be another Hi-Fi Rush moment. So we'll see with South of Midnight, but I love the concept. I love the ideas. I love everything we've seen. I just do have my concerns, do have my questions, but we won't really get answers until we play the game ourselves. That's the most important part about any game, playing the game yourself. You won't know until you play it. And so, yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of South of Midnight? I would love to talk about it, love to answer questions, all that good stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace. All right. Alrighty. I may not do the other one yet just because yeah. Austin said something in the chat earlier I thought was interesting. What did he say? Potential topic later. You think there will be a state of play next week? Ooh, that is an interesting topic. I don't even know if Austin's still here, to be honest with you. But yeah, that is an interesting topic. Yeah, so we're done doing the video segment of this podcast. I'm gonna do the Expedition one at a later date. So let's talk about some of the headlines of the news and some of the rumors going on here recently. A state of play. There's a lot of rumors saying that state of play is gonna happen February 14th. I think Valentine's Day. Right? Yeah, Valentine's Day. I don't know about Valentine's Day specifically. I could see it being the 13th or the 11th or the 12th. I don't think they're going to do it on a Friday. That feels or sounds really weird in my opinion. Like, I can't recall State of Play ever being on a Friday, to be honest with you. But either way, I do think a State of Play is happening for sure. Because I think there's just a lot of things lined up that make a lot of sense. I think Ghost of Yotei getting a gameplay trailer makes a lot of sense. I think Death Stranding 2 getting its release date trailer, release window trailer makes a lot of sense. I think possibly seeing Wolverine or possibly seeing another PlayStation game makes sense. Maybe Resident Evil. There's just a lot of things that make sense with this state of play. And I think it'll be a good one whenever it is. Whenever it is, I think it'll be really good. And I mean, obviously, I'm going to be overly excited if it's announced because I know we're going to get Ghost of Yotei. There's just no way we don't. And so I'm finally going to be seeing gameplay, and that will be like one of the best moments ever. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I think it is happening. I think it is happening. I just don't know if it's going to happen on the exact day that they're saying, which is the 14th, Valentine's Day. I just don't see that. I think that's just really weird. But who knows, Who knows? PlayStation, they make a lot of questionable decisions, so who knows? But yeah, very interesting. The next thing I want to talk about is the possibility of a Devil May Cry 1 remake. Sign me up, bro. If it's a remake in terms of like it's gonna look like Devil May Cry 5, but it's just Devil May Cry 1, sign me up, bro. That is going to be awesome. And I think there might be some truth to this because we haven't gotten a Devil May Cry in a while, and we have like really no evidence or no rumors that Devil May Cry 6 is happening anytime soon. They're not just gonna let the series die. It's one of their best series. A remake coming out this year when the only thing else coming out from Capcom this year is Monster Hunter Wilds, when they've already said they're not going to drop any other big games this year if Monster Hunter Wilds does really, really good. A remake might fit that category of like, well, yeah, let's release a remake this year along with Monster Hunter Wilds. That makes a lot of sense to me. Save Resident Evil for next year, something like that. Like, I think this makes a lot of sense. And I'm completely down for this because I love Devil May Cry. It's one of my favorite franchises. And yeah, I just think that I think this has huge potential. I think this is a definite possibility. I don't know if it'll come out this year or next year or when it'll be announced, but I think it could happen eventually. Although I am curious that all those rumors started right around the time of that Capcom Spotlight that just happened, which, by the way, they announced that Onimusha 2 remastered. And the Devil May Cry remake was not there. You would have thought it would have been there, but it wasn't. So we'll see about that. But yeah, I don't know. All I know is I hope it's true. That's all I know is I hope it's true. The next thing we're going to talk about is Man, every time I see that Doom Collector's Edition, man, it goes crazy. Respawn Entertainment is going to reveal their next Star Wars RTS game in April, so that's interesting. We'll see how that looks. Not really an RTS fan, but if it's Star Wars, I might get behind it. We'll see. There's a lot of Xbox talk. I feel like I may save that. I may save some of the other stuff for the next podcast or whatnot, because I do believe, we still have one more podcast to do before Avowed and all that starts coming out, so we'll see. But one thing I do want to say is I've seen rumors of possibly Gears of War E-Day releasing this year. Xbox must be smoking something if they genuinely think they need Gears of War E-Day this year. They do not need it this year. That is coming from somebody who it's in their top 10 most anticipated games. It's higher on my list than any, well, outside of Doom. It's one of my most anticipated Xbox games. One of my most anticipated games, period. This year for Xbox is already jam-packed, honestly. Like, they have so many games coming out. If they also are going to release Gears of War E-Day this year, that's insane. That is an insane amount of games. If it does, don't get me wrong, I'm going to be ecstatic. I just don't think that's true. Like, I'd be blown away if Gears of War E-Day comes out this year. Now, what I could see, if it is coming out this year, I could see it where Fable is fall and Gears of War is like holiday, right? If Gears of War is that December game, kind of like Indiana Jones last year. But what's going to happen is they're going to show a lot of it at the Xbox Game Showcase. That's what's going to happen in summer, and then they're going to be like, this holiday. Oh, big shock. Everybody goes crazy, right? And then Fable gets that like September date, kind of like how Starfield did, right? So I could see them going down that route. The thing is, that just seems like a lot more than they need, honestly, which is crazy because we're talking about Xbox, the company that has been dry for years and years and years, that we've just been asking for games and games, and they've yet to deliver until this year. And now we're saying, yo, don't release that game. You know what I mean? Because you have too many games now. It's kind of crazy to me, but hey, I don't even know. I'd be so excited, but at the same time, I'd be so like, what are you doing, Xbox? Like, why are you releasing all your games this year? Like, there are other years, unless they just have that many games, genuinely. They just have that many games where they're like, oh, well, we need to release it, so let's just release this year so we can release the other things next year. Like, what? What are you on? It's crazy. But yeah, very excited. I think that is going to do it for this podcast. I know I said it was going to be massive. We're going to talk about a lot of things, which we did. I know there was just that really weird, 20-minute period where I was just being an idiot. But don't worry, y'all ain't going to see that. I'm cutting that out. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching the podcast, and I will see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.